Hello dear students, welcome to Pen and Paper Chemistry. We are continuing with the topic of properties of alkenes part 2. In part 1, we have already covered electrophilic addition reactions in the case of alkenes, and out of that we have covered hydrogenation in it and halogenation. Today we are going to talk about hydrohalogenation and reaction with halogens in aqueous solution. So let's go ahead. And before we go ahead, just touching base on what we learned in the previous video. Electrophilic addition means addition across the double bond. So you have a reagent. That's it, right? So you add across the double bond, with the result the double bond changes into the single bond, right? One double bond changes into two single bonds. But where does the X go and where does the Y go remains to be seen, because till now we have only dealt with symmetrical reactants. So H and H, X, X, right? We have not spoken about unsymmetrical reagents. Hydrohalogenation, addition of hydrogen and halogen across the double bond. To help you in your study, here's the chart, which is the USP of this channel. And you can make this chart on an A4 size sheet, or you can also use an any calendar or big sheet of paper. Don't forget to use colors in your flow chart, because during examinations when you close your eyes you will be able to relate to colors, right? So try and put different colors to show difference in the reactions as is here. Otherwise, if you are comfortable, you can go ahead with the single color. So have you noted down this flow chart? That's part of the long flow chart, okay? This is not the complete flow chart. So let's go ahead with writing the reactions. Hydrohalogenation, as I said, is the addition of hydrogen and halogen across the double bond. I am taking an unsymmetrical alkene, RCH double bond CH2. I have just now used a word unsymmetrical. Let me explain that first to you. You have learnt about symmetry. The two parts are mirror images of each other. So A has a line of symmetry, B has a line of symmetry, C has a line of symmetry. What about F? Does it have a line of symmetry? No. What about G? Does it have a line of symmetry? No. So symmetrical means when across the double bond, so you have these two carbon atoms, if the groups attached are same. So let's suppose I have RR here. So if you notice, the two parts over here are mirror images of each other. It's a symmetrical alkene. On the other hand, if I have C double bond C and I have an R here, and I have, let's say, another alkyl group attached, and I have a hydrogen over here, and let us say another alkyl group. So it could be the same as well. Even now the two parts are not mirror images of each other. There is no line of symmetry over here. Hence this type of an alkene, the first one, is called as a symmetrical alkene. The second that I have drawn would be an unsymmetrical alkene. Okay, now I'll give you two questions over here. Tell me, CH2 double bond CH2, symmetrical or unsymmetrical? Very good, it is symmetrical. Just expand it and the answer is right in front of you. Propene, RCH double bond CH2 symmetrical, unsymmetrical? Just spread out its wings. Double bond CH, CH. Do they look like mirror images of each other? No. So we have unsymmetrical. Right? Now, let's go back to what we were doing. Hydrohalogenation is addition of hydrogen halide HX across the double bond. If my initial reactant is, let's suppose, CH2 double bond CH2, right? Now add across the double bond, hydrogen goes here, halogen goes over here. We will have CH3 single bond CH2X. We could also have X going to the top carbon and hydrogen going over here. Would that make a difference to the product? Are these two products same or different? Yes, they are very much the same. Both are the same, correct? Because this is a symmetrical alkene. Now let's see about propene. Now when addition of hydrogen halide takes place across the double bond in an unsymmetrical alkene, I have put it as two possibilities. Hydrogen goes to CH. With the result, we will have the product as CH3, CH2, single bond, CH2X, right? The other is hydrogen goes to the carbon, which is having two hydrogen atoms attached to it. So CH3, CHX, CH2, sorry, CH3. Are these two products same? No. This is a primary alkyl halide, right? Where the hydrogen is attached to the first carbon, which is attached to only one other carbon atom. So this is a primary halogen derivative. On the other hand, see the second case, this is a secondary or a 2-degree halide. The halogen is attached to a carbon which in turn is attached to two other carbon atoms, correct? So in other words, we can have a primary halide or a secondary halide as the main product. Observation. This is found to be the major product in this particular reaction. How do we explain this? We will again have to go back to the concept of electrophilic addition reactions, the mechanism. So CH3, CH double bond CH2. Electrophilic addition. Electrophile is the first species to attack. In HX, which is the electrophile? Electron loving, electrophile, something which is positive. So hydrogen will be attacked by the pi electrons. They are desperate, they are hungry for more. So we could have the hydrogen attaching at this carbon, whereas the first carbon gets a positive charge, or we could also have CH3, CH3 over here, the hydrogen going to the second carbon atom, the first carbon atom, with the result this carbon has the positive charge. What type of intermediate species are these? Carbon having a positive charge, carbon having a cut, carbon having a cut, carbocation, right? And what is the stability of carbocation? We have already discussed this in intermediates. Yes, it is the secondary carbocation which is more stable compared to the primary. With the result, what will happen over here? Because this is more stable, now the halogen has to come and attack. Because this is not existing in a larger amount, what will happen is the halogen will come and attack the carbon which is positive, right? Giving us the 2-degree halide as the major product. This has been stated very clearly by a Russian scientist known as Markovnikov rule. What does this rule say? When an unsymmetrical, you would like to note it down please. When an unsymmetrical reagent adds to an unsymmetrical alkene. What do we mean by unsymmetrical reagent? This rule we did not need when I had both the positive and the negative parts being the same. The electrophile and the nucleophile were the same. Now here I have a reagent where the two parts are different. So when an unsymmetrical reagent adds to an unsymmetrical alkene, the positive part of the adding reagent goes to the carbon bearing more number of hydrogen atoms. So R CH X single bond CH3, right? This is called as Markovnikov rule, and the product that we've got over here would be called as the Markovnikov product, a product which is formed according to the Markovnikov rule, and that is what you will notice in the flow chart that I have drawn. I've listed over here hydrohalogenation RCHX-CH3, which is a Markovnikov product, right? You notice something that I've written anti-Markovnikov product as well, right? Let's go to that and let's see what it is. Okay, as I said earlier, without practice there is no point in watching this video, and I hope that at the beginning of the class you had your pen and paper ready. If not, please get it now and start writing the products of these reactions. So I have an alkene over here, add HCl to it, add HBr to it, add HI. See, these are all forms of HX, hydrohalogenation. Please write the products and pat yourself on the back for carrying on so far diligently. Now here comes something interesting. What was observed was when you are taking an unsymmetrical alkene and adding HBr, yes, did you form the product? Very good. So let's match our answers. So we'll have RCHBr and single bond CH3, right? But if by mistake you add an organic peroxide to the reaction mixture, you know what happens? This HBr becomes rebellious in the presence of organic peroxide. He says, no way am I going to the carbon bearing more number of hydrogen. Hydrogen says, no, I am going to the carbon bearing lesser number of hydrogen atoms. And there we go. Oh, look at that. That's a totally different product. It's opposite to what we had drawn earlier, right? Instead of having a secondary alkyl halide, we are having a primary product. So what makes it change its mood? Why does it want to go to the carbon? Here, see the condition of the reaction. Organic peroxide. Now, if you recall, free radical reactions, although we have already discussed this under the mechanism, but I will touch base on that as well over here. So when you have a peroxide, instead of the formation of a carbocation, as we had seen in the earlier reaction mechanism, electrophilic addition, we will notice that in the presence of a peroxide, it's a free radical intermediate which is formed. And because of the formation of the free radical intermediate, instead of the reaction taking place by this mechanism, it is the free radical process which takes place. To make the points more clear, what I have done is I have depicted the two reaction mechanisms in different colors so that you are able to connect to them. So first case is I am taking when you are carrying out the reaction in the presence of a peroxide, which I have put in green, right. As I said, colors help you to remember better. So in the presence of a peroxide, the first attack is taking place by a free radical, the bromide free radical. Bromide can either attach to the carbon number 2 or it can attach to carbon number 1, giving us two intermediates over here, which are again free radicals. Now again you compare the stability of free radicals. Do you remember the stability order of free radicals? 3 degree, 2 degree, 1 degree, right? Tertiary, secondary, primary. I have covered all of these under the topic of basics of organic chemistry. In case there is any doubt, you can visit the video on the channel. Now here, so that means this is a secondary, this is a primary. Which will be more stable? Very correct, the first one. So now what remains to be attached is the hydrogen. So with the result, the hydrogen goes to the carbon bearing lesser number of hydrogen atoms, and our product will be RCH2CH2Br, a primary alkyl halide. Going back to what we have already done, here when an electrophilic addition reaction takes place, RCH double bond CH2, the first attack is taking place by an electrophile. So the hydrogen can either become attached over here. So we have RCH2CH2, with the result this carbon gets a positive charge, or we will have RCHCH3 and the second carbon gets a positive charge. These are carbocations, carbon with a cut. This one is primary, this one is secondary. Which one is more stable? Yes, again the stability order of carbocations is also the same, 3 degree, 2 degree, 1 degree. So we will have the 2 degree more stable. But what has got to be attached now? Very good, it is Br. So here this will be the major product, whereas in the presence of a peroxide it is the primary which is the major product. So again we can update our this chart that we've got drawn, RCH double bond CH2. Here the positive part goes to the carbon. When we are talking about the Markovnikov product, that means this particular compound is following the Markovnikov rule, right? So this is Markovnikov rule, positive part to the carbon bearing more number of hydrogen. And the second one, which we are carrying out in the presence of an organic peroxide, this is anti-Markovnikov rule. And interestingly, there's a specific name for this reaction, and it is called as the crash peroxide effect. Please excuse my pronunciation in case I have not got the name right. Peroxide effect. But you have to remember, I am not taking any hydrogen halide over here, because this type of deviation from Markovnikov rule is shown only by HBr in the presence of an organic peroxide. HCl, HI, no, they are not showing this variation from or deviation from Markovnikov rule. They'll still follow Markovnikov rule irrespective of the presence or absence of organic peroxide. Can you find out the reason why HCl and HI do not depict this behavior? Why did they do not give you the anti-Markovnikov product? This is a very, very important question as well as learning for you. Please find out the answer for yourself, or maybe just think about it. You may get the answer yourself. We are now coming to the reaction of halogens with alkene in a polar covalent solvent, and the solvent that we are taking over here is water. You may also be asked this question as, or you may also come across when we say reaction of halogens in an aqueous solution. So let's start with that. Now we've got halogen. What you will say is it's a halogen, so simple. X get added here and X goes to the second carbon atom. So we will do that same process, but we will do step by step. So the first step is, of course, this in the presence of water it gets partially positive and negative, partially polar. Now CH2X, now actual mechanism, if you see the detail, if you go into the minutest detail, what we know is that X temporarily actually bonds to both the carbon atoms, giving them partial positive charges, and then the negative comes and attack on one of the carbons, and this we've already discussed in the first video. To make this matter simple, how I have explained it is, positive electrophile comes and attacks the double bonded carbon, with the result the other carbon gets a positive charge, right? Now the next step is the halogen coming to CH2 in order to bind with it. No way. What have we got? We've got these bullies over here. Who are these bullies? These are the water molecules, and they surround this halogen from all sides, and they say, no way, we are not letting you approach the halogen. So hydrogen comes here, hydrogen surrounds it from all sides. The water molecules, they surround it from all sides, preventing it from approaching the intermediate carbocation. On the other hand, they try to be smart. So what have we got? We know that water is a polar covalent molecule, and they are successful in tempting the CH2 to take the OH negative from this, saying, oh, see, halide ion, we don't know where it is, it's got lost somewhere, so we do have an offer for you. Why don't you take the OH from us? And there we go. What have we got? We've got a product which has got the halogen attached to it and the OH coming from hydrate, coming from water. Hence, it's a halohydrin derivative of the corresponding alkyl. Easy? No? Difficult? So let me write it more simple then. CH2 double bond CH2, instead of showing the halogen and the reaction with water in two different steps, usually we explain it to the students by this reaction, giving us CH2X, CH2OH. Sometimes you will also find it written as HOX, where the X is your positive part and OH is the negative part. Why am I telling you X is the positive part? Because that's what we noticed over here. And you will need it to apply, yes, the Markovnikov rule in the next reaction we are going to write. And what is the next reaction? When I am going to take an unsymmetrical alkene, and you have to write the reaction with let's say bromine in an aqueous solution. So bromine water, correct, reddish brown. And what will happen to its color, and how will you show its reaction? Let me simplify it. Don't want to complicate things. are CH double bond CH2 plus Br positive OH negative. Positive part goes to the carbon bearing more number of hydrogen atoms RCHOH CH2Br, as simple as that, right? So similarly, now bromine water reddish brown, here it will be colorless. So we can use this reaction also as a test. Similarly, chlorine water. What is the color of chlorine water? Greenish yellow. ClOH. Write the product which will be formed. So the greenish yellow of chlorine water will disappear, and this particular reaction goes on to show the presence of the double bond. Make sense? Does it sound easy now? In the next video, I shall be taking up hydration of alkenes. Hydration means when you add water across the double bond, and interestingly there are a good number of reactions. So let's leave it for the next video and not stretch ourselves here itself. See you soon in part 3. Stay tuned, stay safe, stay healthy and smiling.